When I was on my sickbed, my daughter-in-law locked me in the kitchen. The winter chill seeped through my bones as I sat at my kitchen table, hands wrapped around a mug of lukewarm tea. 83 years on this earth, and I never thought I'd find myself in such a situation. My name is Eleanor May Johnson, and this old house on Magnolia Street has been my home for the past 57 years. The yellow wallpaper was fading, and the floorboards creaked with every step. But these walls held the echoes of my life. My husband Walter's hearty laugh, my son Marcus's first steps, family dinners that stretched late into the evening. But today those memories seemed distant, like photographs, yellowing with age. It started 3 weeks ago. The pneumonia hit me hard. At my age, everything hits hard. One moment I was tending to my garden, coaxing my prized dahlias to bloom, and the next I was fighting for breath, my chest tight and burning. Marcus insisted I move in with him and Vanessa temporarily. "Just until you're back on your feet, Mama," he'd said, concern etching lines around his eyes. I'd raised him right, always putting family first. Their house was one of those new builds in the suburbs, all granite countertops and stainless steel. Nothing like the warmth of my old place. But it had a guest room on the first floor, which meant no stairs for these old knees. Marcus had converted it into a makeshift sick room, with a hospital bed rented from the medical supply store, and a little side table for my medications. The first few days were a blur of fever dreams and fitful sleep. Marcus would come before and, after work, sitting beside me, his large hand enveloping mine. "You're gonna be just fine, Mama," he'd whisper, but I could see the worry in his eyes. He was always my sensitive boy. Vanessa, my daughter-in-law of 15 years, was attentive. That's the word I'd use. She brought my medications on schedule, helped me to the bathroom when needed, and made sure I ate something, even when my appetite had abandoned me. But there was always something distant in her eyes, something calculating that I couldn't quite name. By the end of the first week, the fever had broken, and I could sit up for longer periods. Marcus had to leave for a business trip to Chicago. Some important conference he couldn't miss. "It's just 3 days, Mama," he'd assured me. "Vanessa will take good care of you." The change came the morning after he left. I'd woken up feeling stronger than I had in days. Pushing myself up, I managed to walk to the kitchen, craving a cup of the chamomile tea that always soothed my throat. Vanessa was standing at the kitchen island, scrolling through her phone, half-eaten piece of toast beside her. She looked up, startled. "Eleanor, you shouldn't be out of bed." Her voice carried concern, but her eyes remained cool. "Just wanted some tea, sweetheart. Thought I'd try to move around a bit." "Let me make it for you. You'll exhaust yourself." She guided me to a chair at the kitchen table, her grip on my arm firmer than necessary. As she busied herself with the kettle, I noticed papers spread across the far end of the table. Bank statements, property deeds, insurance policies, my papers. The ones I kept in the lockbox Marcus had brought from my house at my request. "What are you doing with those?" My voice came out weaker than I intended. Vanessa's back stiffened momentarily before she turned, a practiced smile on her face. "Oh, Marcus asked me to organize everything. You know how he worries." But Marcus hadn't mentioned anything about organizing my financial affairs, and the lockbox key was on my keyring, which I kept in my purse by the bed. She placed the tea in front of me, the scent of chamomile rising with the steam. "Drink up while it's hot, then back to bed with you." I sipped slowly, watching as she gathered the papers, tucking them into a folder before slipping it into a drawer. Something cold settled in the pit of my stomach that had nothing to do with illness. When I finished my tea, Vanessa helped me back to the bedroom, her touch gentle now, solicitous. You rest now. Call if you need anything. But when I reached for my purse to check on my keys, it wasn't there. Vanessa, I called out, my voice raspy from disuse. Have you seen my purse? She appeared in the doorway, arms crossed. I put it away for safekeeping. Don't worry about anything, Elena. Just focus on getting better. That night I lay awake, listening to the unfamiliar creaks of a house that wasn't mine, replaying the image of those papers spread across the table. Something wasn't right. Next morning I waited until I heard Vanessa's car pull out of the driveway before making my way back to the kitchen. I needed to find that folder, see exactly what she was looking at. The drawer where she'd placed the folder was locked. I tried the others, all locked. Frustration bubbled up inside me as I leaned against the counter, catching my breath. My gaze fell on the landline phone on the wall. I'd call Marcus, ask him what was going on. But when I lifted the receiver, there was no dial tone. Dead. I checked my room for my cell phone. Nowhere to be found. A tremor ran through me that had nothing to do with my illness. I was cut off. Hours later, Vanessa returned, carrying groceries. I was sitting in the living room, having exhausted myself searching for any working phone. You're up again? She noted, setting the bags down. Feeling better? Where's my phone, Vanessa? She busied herself unpacking groceries. I put it away. The doctor said you need rest, not stress from calls and messages. I need to talk to Marcus. He's in meetings all day. I told him you're doing fine. She turned to face me, her expression softening. Eleanor, you're working yourself up. Let me help you back to bed. I want to go home, I said firmly, surprising myself with the strength in my voice. Something flashed in her eyes. Annoyance, perhaps, or something darker. You're not well enough yet. Marcus would never forgive me if something happened to you. That night I tried the front and back doors after Vanessa had gone to bed. Both locked, keys nowhere to be found. The windows, too, were secured. I was effectively trapped. The next morning I confronted her directly. Vanessa, I want to go home today. She was chopping vegetables for soup, the knife rhythmically hitting the cutting board. You're still recovering, Eleanor. Besides, Marcus wants you here where we can watch over you. Then let me speak to him. The chopping paused. He's very busy. I don't want to disturb him. I'm not a prisoner, Vanessa. My voice cracked with emotion. I'm a grown woman who wants to return to her own home. She set down the knife, wiping, her hands on a towel before approaching me. Let's get you something to eat. You always get cranky when your blood sugar is low. I'm not cranky. I'm concerned. My frustration boiled over. You've taken my purse, my phone, locked away my financial papers. What are you doing, Vanessa? Her face hardened, the pretense of care evaporating. What am I doing? I'm protecting my husband's interests. Do you have any idea how much money Marcus has spent on your medical bills over the years? How much time he's sacrificed catering to your needs? The venom in her voice stunned me into silence. That house of yours, falling apart, but worth a fortune because of the location. And your savings, just sitting there while we've been struggling with Morgan's college tuition. Morgan was my granddaughter, the light of my life. It's not fair, Eleanor. It's just not fair. She took a deep breath, composing herself. Marcus is too soft. He'd let you drain every last penny before saying a word. Someone has to look out for our future. By stealing from me. I found my voice again, shaky but determined. It's not stealing when it's family, she snapped. You're being selfish, Eleanor. At your age, what do you need all that money for anyway? You should be thinking about your legacy, about helping your son and granddaughter. I had always planned to leave everything to Marcus and Morgan, but on my terms, when the time came. Not like this, not through manipulation and confinement. I want to call Marcus. Now. I stood as tall as my aching body would allow. Vanessa's laugh was cold. He won't believe you. You've been sick, confused. The doctor mentioned possible delirium with your infection. She moved toward the door. I have errands to run. You should rest. Vanessa, don't you dare leave me here like this. But she did. The sound of the lock turning behind her like a period at the end of a sentence. I spent the morning searching again for phones, keys, anything that might help. My strength, still compromised from the pneumonia, quickly waned. By afternoon, I was back in the kitchen, defeated and exhausted. That's when I noticed Vanessa had left her tablet on the counter. With trembling fingers, I tapped the screen. It lit up. Unlocked. A small mercy. I found the email app and composed a message to Marcus, explaining everything, asking him to call me immediately on the house phone. Just as I was about to hit send, I heard a key in the front door. In my haste to return the tablet to its exact position, I knocked over a glass, sending it shattering to the floor. Vanessa rushed in, eyes widening as she took in the scene. Me standing by the counter, her tablet awake, glass shards at my feet. "What do you think you're doing?" Her voice was deadly quiet. I wanted to check the time. I lied weakly. She snatched the tablet, checking it quickly. I'd closed the email, but had I exited the app completely? My heart pounded as I watched her face. When she looked up, her eyes were cold. "Sit down, Eleanor." "I need to clean up this glass." "Sit down." I lowered myself into a chair, acutely, aware of the broken glass surrounding me, a barrier between me and the door. Vanessa moved deliberately, getting the broom and dustpan. As she swept, she spoke without looking at me. "You know, I've tried to be patient, to do this the easy way, but you're making it very difficult." Doing what the easy way. My mouth was dry with fear. She straightened, dustpan full of glittering shards. Securing our future. Marcus is too blinded by devotion to see what needs to be done. That's why I've taken matters into my own hands. By holding me prisoner. Don't be dramatic. She dumped the glass into the trash. I'm looking after you while you recover. If you happen to sign some papers while you're here, transferring your assets into a trust we can manage, well, that's just smart estate planning. The coldness of her plan chilled me to the bone. I won't sign anything. You will. Her certainty was terrifying. Because if you don't, I'll convince Marcus that your mind is going, that your confusion is worsening, that you need full-time care in a facility. He wouldn't believe that, wouldn't he? The doctor already noted cognitive concerns in your chart. Standard for pneumonia in elderly patients. I've been documenting your episodes, your wandering, your paranoia about being held captive, your imagined fears about me stealing from you. My hands gripped the edge of the table. You can't do this. I already am. She placed the broom and dustpan away, then turned to face me fully. Now, I'm going to make dinner. Then we'll discuss the paperwork I need you to sign. She moved to the refrigerator, her back to me once more. I glanced at the open kitchen door, calculating the distance, knowing my weakened legs might not carry me fast enough. Don't even think about it, Vanessa said without turning around. Where would you go? In your nightgown, with no money, no phone. Who would believe your wild stories? The worst part was that she was right. In this moment, I was powerless. As she prepared dinner, moving around the kitchen with efficient precision, I sat immobile, my mind racing. There had to be a way out of this nightmare. You know, she said conversationally, as if we were discussing the weather. This could be so much easier. You could live comfortably in a nice senior community. We'd visit regularly. You'd have everything you need. Except my freedom, my home, my dignity. She sighed, as if I were being unreasonable. Your home is a burden at your age. The stairs, the maintenance. It's not safe. That's my decision to make. Not anymore. She set a plate in front of me. Chicken soup, crackers on the side. Eat. Keep up your strength. I stared at the food, wondering if she'd drugged it to make me more compliant. But hunger won out, and I ate slowly, watching her across the table. After dinner, she helped me back to my room, her touch gentle once more. The perfect caring daughter-in-law should anyone be watching. At the doorway, she paused. Think about what I said, Eleanor. A simple signature, and all this unpleasantness ends. You get to be the generous mother, helping your son and granddaughter. Everyone wins. When she closed the door, I heard the distinct click of a lock engaging. She was locking me in now. No pretense left. I sat on the edge of the bed, tears of frustration building. How had it come to this? How had I not seen Vanessa's true nature all these years? Or had I seen glimpses and dismissed them for Marcus's sake? The night stretched endlessly as I considered my options. My body was weak, but my mind was sharp. It had to be enough. Morning came with the sound of the lock turning. Vanessa entered with a breakfast tray, her smile bright and false. Good morning. I brought you some oatmeal and fruit. I remained silent, watching her. Marcus called earlier. She continued, setting the tray on the bedside table. He's coming home this afternoon. His meeting's finished early. A spark of hope ignited in my chest. If I could just hold out until Marcus returned. He's worried. About you, Vanessa added, straightening the blankets. I told him you've been confused, agitated, that we might need to consider more. Structured care. And just like that, the spark dimmed. She was already laying the groundwork, poisoning Marcus against me. I'm not confused, I said slowly, deliberately. And we both know it. Do we? She tilted her head, studying me. Elderly patients with infections often experience delirium, paranoia, hallucinations. It's quite common, actually. Marcus knows me. He'll see through this. Marcus sees what he wants to see. She moved to the window, adjusting the blinds. He wants to see his mother comfortable and cared for, and his wife managing everything perfectly, as always. She turned, back to me, her expression softening into something almost pitying. I have the papers ready. A simple transfer of your house to a family trust. Access to your accounts for emergency purposes. Nothing unreasonable. Nothing unreasonable, I echoed hollowly. Just everything I've worked for my entire life. You won't need it where you're going. The statement hung in the air between us, ominous in its ambiguity. She left the room, locking the door behind her once more. I forced myself to eat, knowing I would need my strength. As I chewed mechanically, a plan began to form in my mind. It was risky, desperate even, but I was running out of options. Hours later, Vanessa returned with lunch and my medication. 2 pills, my regular antibiotics, and a third I didn't recognize. What's this? I picked up the unfamiliar pill. Just something to help with your anxiety. Doctor's orders. I doubted very much it was doctor's orders, but I nodded, pretending to place all 3 pills in my mouth. When she turned to pour water, I slipped the unknown pill and one of my antibiotics into my palm, hiding them under the edge of my plate. After she left, I flushed the suspicious pill down the toilet in the adjoining bathroom. I needed to be alert when Marcus arrived. The afternoon crawled by. I practiced getting up, walking around the room, building my stamina. Each step was painful, my lungs still healing, but determination drove me forward. Finally, I heard the front door open, Marcus's deep voice calling out, "I'm home!" I rushed to my bedroom door, pounding on it. "Marcus! Marcus, in here!" Footsteps approached rapidly. "Mama, why is the door locked?" Before I could answer, Vanessa's voice cut in, breathless, as if she'd hurried to intercept him. "Oh, I must have accidentally hit the lock when I closed it earlier. She's been having episodes, wandering around confused in the middle of the night. The doctor suggested limiting her movement for her safety." The lock turned, and there was my son, concern etched on his face. "Mama, are you okay?" I gripped his arms. "Marcus, you need to listen to me. Vanessa has been—" "Shh, it's okay," he soothed, misinterpreting my urgency for confusion. "Vanessa told me you've been having a hard time. The infection can do that, mess with your head a bit." Over his shoulder, I could see Vanessa, her face a mask of concern, but her eyes triumphant. "No, Marcus, listen. She's taken my purse, my phone. She's locked me in. She wants me to sign over the house, my accounts. She's planning to put me in a home." His brow furrowed as he looked back at Vanessa, who smoothly stepped forward, placing a comforting hand on his arm. "See what I mean? These paranoid episodes have been happening more frequently. The doctor said it might be a sign of something more serious." Marcus turned back to me, his eyes softer now, filled with pity. "Mama, Vanessa's been taking care of you around the clock. She's exhausted herself making sure you have everything you need." "She's lying to you, son." "Nobody's lying," he soothed. "You're just confused right now, and that's okay. We're going to get you the help you need." I felt panic rising in my chest. He didn't believe me, just as Vanessa had predicted. "Let's get you back to bed," Marcus said gently. "You look tired." As he guided me back to the bed, I caught sight of Vanessa in the doorway, her expression one of calculated sympathy. She'd won this round, but I wasn't done fighting. After Marcus got me settled, he and Vanessa left the room, but I could hear their hushed conversation just outside the door. "Been like this since yesterday," Vanessa was saying. "The doctor warned me it might happen. We might need to consider more advanced care." "Let's not jump to conclusions," Marcus replied, ever the optimist. "It could just be the medication, or the stress of being ill." "Of course," Vanessa agreed readily. "I just want what's best for her, for all of us." Their footsteps retreated down the hall, and I was left alone with my thoughts and my fear. I needed to find proof, something concrete to show Marcus what was really happening. But locked in this room, with no access to phones or the outside world, what could I do? The answer came to me as I glanced around the room. Marcus had installed a baby monitor when I first arrived, so they could hear me if I needed help in the night. It was still sitting on the dresser, the small light indicating it was on. I wondered, did it work both ways? Could I hear them if I adjusted it? Moving as quietly as I could, I retrieved the monitor and examined it. It was a newer model, with multiple channels. I switched it, hoping to find the corresponding channel to the parent unit. And there it was, Vanessa's voice clear as day, coming from the kitchen. "Just need her to sign these papers," she was saying. "Then we can move forward with the assisted living arrangements." "I don't know, Van." Marcus sounded uncertain. "It's a big step, selling her house. She loves that place. It's falling apart around her. The last time we visited, there was a leak in the ceiling, remember? It's not safe for her anymore. Still, it's her decision. We can't force her." "Of course not." Vanessa's voice turned soothing. "But we can help her see it's the right choice, especially now, when her judgment is compromised." There was a pause, the sound of papers shuffling. "These transfer documents," Marcus said slowly. "They put everything in our names. Shouldn't it be a trust, with Mama as the beneficiary?" My heart swelled with pride. My boy wasn't completely blind. "This is simpler," Vanessa replied smoothly. "Cleaner. No lawyers needed, just her signature. We'll take care of her, Marcus. You know that." "I do, but..." "Think of Morgan's college tuition. Think of the repairs our own house needs. Your mother would want to help if she was thinking clearly." Another pause. Longer this time. "Let me talk to her," Marcus finally said. "Alone. She trusts me." "Of course," Vanessa agreed, though I could hear the tension in her voice. "Just remember what the doctor said about her confusion. Don't let her upset herself." Footsteps approached my room. I quickly returned the baby monitor to its exact position and climbed back into bed, heart racing. Marcus entered carrying a folder. The papers Vanessa wanted me to sign. He sat beside me on the bed, his face troubled. "Mama, we need to talk about your living situation." I took his hand, squeezing it with all my remaining strength. "Marcus, before you say anything else, I need you to do something for me. Check if my purse and phone are in this house. Ask Vanessa where they are." He frowned. "Mama, please, son, just do this for me." He sighed but nodded, rising to leave the room. I turned the baby monitor back on, straining to hear. "Van, do you know where Mama's purse and phone are?" A pause. "I put them away for safekeeping." She kept trying. "To call people in the middle of the night, getting herself worked up. Can I see them?" Another pause, longer this time. "Why?" "Just humor me, okay?" I heard drawers opening, the jingle of keys. "They're in the home office, locked in the filing cabinet," Vanessa finally admitted. I was worried she'd try to leave in her condition. "You locked up her things?" Marcus's voice held a note of disbelief. "For her own protection," Vanessa insisted. "The doctor said..." "I want to speak to this doctor," Marcus interrupted. "What's their name?" A longer pause. "Dr. Reynolds. But Marcus, he's very busy. I've been handling all the medical coordination." "Give me his number." "I'll have to look." "It's up. Now, Van." The tension in the air was palpable even through the monitor. I held my breath, waiting. "Fine." Vanessa's voice was tight. "But you're overreacting. Everything I've done has been for Eleanor's benefit." "Then you won't mind if I verify that with her doctor." Footsteps again, coming back to my room. I quickly switched off the monitor and repositioned myself. Marcus entered, his expression grim. "Your purse and phone are locked in the filing cabinet. Vanessa says it was for your protection." "And you believe her?" I searched his face. He sat down heavily beside me. "I don't know what to believe right now, but I'm going to call your doctor and get some clarity." Relief washed over me. "Thank you, son." He squeezed my hand, his eyes troubled. "I'll get to the bottom of this, Mama. I promise." As he left, I felt hope returning. Marcus might have been blinded by love, but he wasn't a fool. What happened next unfolded so quickly it still feels like a blur in my memory. I heard raised voices. From somewhere in the house, Marcus and Vanessa arguing. Then footsteps approaching rapidly. My door flew open, and Vanessa stood there, her face contorted with anger. "You've ruined everything," she hissed, advancing into the room. "I was trying to do this the easy way, for all of us." I pushed myself up, backing against the headboard. "Where's Marcus?" "Calling your doctor, or trying to. Unfortunately, the number I gave him isn't quite right." Her smile was brittle. "But he'll figure that out eventually, and by then, we need to have a new plan." She grabbed my arm, pulling me to my feet with surprising strength. "Come with me." "Let go of me." I struggled, but my weakened state was no match for her determination. She dragged me down the hallway, into the kitchen. From somewhere in the house, I could hear Marcus's voice, frustrated as he presumably dealt with a wrong number. "Sit," Vanessa commanded, pushing me into a kitchen chair. She withdrew papers from a drawer, the transfer documents, and slapped them on the table in front of me, along with a pen. "Sign them. Now. Before Marcus comes back." "No." I pushed the papers away. Her eyes narrowed dangerously. "You think you've won because Marcus is having doubts? You haven't. Even if he believes you about the purse and phone, it's my word against yours about everything else. And you're just a confused old woman with pneumonia. You can't force me to sign, can't I?" She leaned down, her face inches from mine. "You have no idea what I'm capable of, Eleanor. No idea at all." The threat hung in the air between us. For the first time, I felt truly afraid, not just for my freedom or my assets, but for my safety. "Vanessa!" Marcus's voice rang out as he entered the kitchen, face thunderous. "What is going on here?" She straightened immediately, composing her features. "I was just showing Eleanor these papers, for her protection. The doctor's office has no record of calls from you this week," Marcus said, his voice dangerously quiet. "And the number you gave me was for a pizza place." Vanessa paled slightly but recovered quickly. "I must have written it down wrong. With everything going on—" "Stop." Marcus held up his hand. "Just stop. I found Mama's purse, her phone, her wallet, all locked away. Why would you do that, Vanessa?" "I told you, it was for her protection." "Protection?" I found my voice, strengthened by Marcus's presence. "She wanted me to sign over everything to you both. The house, my accounts, everything. Then she was going to put me in a home." Marcus looked at the papers on the table, picking them up and scanning them. His face darkened as he read. "This transfers full ownership of her house to us, and gives us power of attorney." He looked up at Vanessa, disbelief etched on his features. "Were you going to tell me about this?" "Of course I was," she faltered. "Once it was done. I didn't want to worry you while you were away." "Worry me?" His voice rose. "You locked my mother in a room, took her possessions, tried to take her home. And you didn't want to worry me? You don't understand." Vanessa's voice took on a desperate edge. "We need the money. Your contracting business is struggling. Morgan's tuition is due. The roof needs replacing. Your mother has all this wealth just sitting there. So you decided to take it, without asking?" "I was going to ask. But then she got sick, and I saw an opportunity." She stopped, realizing what she'd admitted. Marcus's face hardened in a way I'd never seen before. Get out! What? Get out of this house. Now. I'll have the locks changed in an hour. Marcus, you can't be serious. Over a misunderstanding? This wasn't a misunderstanding. This was elder abuse, attempted theft, false imprisonment. I could call the police right now. Vanessa's face drained of color. You wouldn't. Try me. His voice was steel. For a long moment they stared at each other, years of marriage collapsing in the space between them. Then Vanessa turned, grabbing her purse from the counter. You'll regret this, she said quietly. Both of you. And then she was gone, the front door slamming behind her. Marcus immediately came to my side, kneeling beside my chair. Mama, I'm so sorry. I had no idea that she could. I touched his face, this boy of mine, who had finally seen the truth. It's not your fault, son. I should have known. Should have seen the signs. We both missed them. Love can be blinding that way. He helped me back to the bedroom, my prison no longer, and got me settled. As he tucked the blankets around me, his face crumpled. What happens now, Mama? With Vanessa? With everything? I took his hand. Now we heal, both of us, and we do it together. In the days that followed, the full extent of Vanessa's deception emerged. She had been skimming from Marcus's business accounts for months. The family's financial struggles were largely her creation, a fabricated crisis to justify taking my assets. Marcus filed for divorce. It wasn't an easy decision for a man who believed in the sanctity of marriage, but some betrayals cut too deep for reconciliation. As for me, once my strength returned, I moved back to my beloved home on Magnolia Street. Marcus hired help for the repairs Vanessa had exaggerated and a part-time aide to assist me with the heavier tasks. But my independence remained intact, my dignity preserved. One evening, about a month after the ordeal, Marcus and Morgan came for dinner. As we sat on the porch, watching the sunset paint the sky in shades of pink and gold, Morgan asked innocently, "Grandma, why did Vanessa lock you in the kitchen?" Marcus started to hush her, but I shook my head. The girl deserved honesty. She was afraid, honey, I explained gently. Afraid of not having enough, afraid of losing control. Fear makes people do terrible things sometimes. Did you forgive her? Morgan's eyes were wide with the simplicity of youth. I considered the question carefully. Forgiveness was a journey I was still navigating, a path lined with anger and hurt, but also with the wisdom that comes from 83 years of living. I'm working on it, I answered truthfully. Forgiveness isn't just for the person who wronged you. It's also for yourself. As the evening deepened into night, with my son and granddaughter beside me, I reflected on Vanessa's final words to me in that kitchen. She had thought to shatter me with her cruelty, to break my spirit and claim what was mine. But she had underestimated the strength that comes from a lifetime of overcoming, the resilience built through decades of joy and sorrow, triumph and loss. She had underestimated me, and in the end that was her greatest mistake.